Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I'm your host, Barry. With me this week, as he always is the co-hostess with the mostess. It's Eric, the Whiskey Mutant.
There's Raph. Yeah, a little too Raph.
What's he gonna say this week? What's he gonna see next? See next week. What's he gonna see and say next week?
See and say. Depends on what I've been watching, what I've been doing, depending on what I'm saying. If you got that one, you may like Ninja Turtles.
I got it.
I know you got it. I'm saying the listener.
Well, I understand. Hey, if you are new to the show, first of all, thank you so much for being here. If you are returning, hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for coming back for another episode. Subscribe to the podcast on whatever you are listening to it on. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review if your podcast app of choice allows you to do so. If you have left us a review and we've missed it, please let us know. Send us a screenshot or something, and we'll read it out here on the show. Bill Robarge actually did that recently, and we're going to read his review out at the end of the episode since I couldn't find it last week. But it was on an app that I didn't know existed, and I also don't see the reviews for. So please, if you've done that, send it our way.
Hey, if you want us to read something else out, just send it our way too. I mean, if it's appropriate.
Your manifesto.
Yeah. You want to hear us read something you wrote? Send it to us. We'll figure out how to put it on the show.
By all means, yeah. You want to send us your limericks?
You want to send us your grocery list? Let us know.
There once was a man from Nantucket. But you can also follow us on social media as @MyBourbonPod, @WhiskeyMutant. You can also become a supporter of the show at patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast for as little as $1 a month. But it's at the $5 tier that you start to get bonus incentives like episodes that come out before everybody else receives them. You get the pregame chats. You get once a month bonus episodes, which Swan is the co-host of now. So
Got to pay for Swan.
He doesn't come cheap either.
Well, that's the truth.
You don't understand the amount of bird seed and breadcrumbs that I have to give that man. I'm sorry, bird boy.
You don't know the amount of the gym membership you have to pay for him so he can fly over here the much to keep his wings strong. He's a strong boy. He's a strong bird.
Yes. Yes.
He's a strong bird.
Strong bird. I didn't have anything as a follow-up for that, and my brain just kind of stopped working for a second. So, patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast. It's time now for Sips and Snacks.
Sips and Snacks.
Where we pair a thing with another thing.
And this is another treat from Jason and Natalie from Utah. The treat is not technically from Utah. Well, they probably bought it in Utah. But we couldn't even get this thing to translate. Perry almost got it.
Barely.
It's basically a little wafer crunchy cookie with like a chocolate filling in the middle. Like I said, I'll put a picture of it up before the show, but it's got a lot of crazy words on it.
Yeah, the Google Translate app didn't quite get us where we needed it to go because it said things like chocolate cookie, then it said custard, and then it just said water, and then it said fresh is soft.
Fresh is soft.
So,
anyway,
I don't know what any of that means.
It's a chocolate cookie with some chocolate filling. It's really good.
And a little bit of crunch, too. Mm-hmm. A little bit of crunch. So we paired it with a Maker's Mark pick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good.
Now, the unfortunate part about this Maker's pick is that it uses the mocha staves, which don't exist anymore. But
I think that's why it goes so well with the chocolate.
Yeah, I agree. And I think in general, this is a good indication that, a mocha stave selection from Makers is going to pair well with something chocolatey in general.
Yeah.
But this really brings the sugariness out.
It almost makes it like a like if you had do you know the soft batch cookies?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. The Keebler or the Keebler soft batch? It's like that with a little bit more spice to it.
Yeah.
I used to take those and heat them up in the microwave for a little bit.
Ooh.
It would be so good.
That sounds tasty.
But this pick is, if you have a Maker's pick and you want to compare it, no Puree 2. 2 seared French cuvee.
Yep.
1 Maker's 46. 3 roasted French mocha. 4 toasted French spice. So, either way, it's great. This goes good with chocolate.
Yeah. I dig it.
Oh, yeah. So much like a soft batch cookie.
Yeah. Eric, what have you been drinking recently?
What have I been drinking? You know, I dug into the back of my shelf. So I've got a shelf that's kind of like stuff that's almost gone that maybe I need to kill or I just haven't got into in a while. And I pulled out Weller Special Reserve. And I know that's not anything special. But I hadn't had it in a while. You know, I've had these foolproof picks that we were pairing, and we had some OWA picks that we were talking about, and it was just normal green Weller. And no lie, like that thing is really good. Like I hadn't just sat down with it, and it's not amazing nothing I'm going to go crazy for.
No.
But I feel like
it's solid.
I feel like it's just something that just gets overlooked a lot.
Yeah.
You know, when the whole Weller subject comes up. So it was nice just sitting down because that was probably one of the first Wellers that I owned myself. And it was nice just sitting with it and realizing, hey, this is just a solid pour.
Yeah.
I just wish I'm not even going to say it. I mean, that bottle particular should just be available all the time. That one should be.
I say you save some of that rant for our topic.
I will, and that's why I stopped. I'm not going to say it right now. And then also I got into some of my old Forster barrel picks that I got. Some are a little too hot, some are just right. But it's nice seeing the difference in those picks. So that's kind of what was on my mind on my way over here when I was thinking about that question you were going to ask me.
I got another surprise Knob Creek pick the other day. But I got it for Halloween. Actually, now that I think about it, I've gotten a couple of... It's not time. It's retired. Oh, jeez.
I didn't say it.
I know. But I actually got a couple recently. I got that one that we had at the Halloween party, and then I got another one just because I was like, I need another Knob Creek.
You can never go wrong with a Knob Creek pick.
No, it's kind of turned into one of my daily drinkers, you know? Either as like a nightcap or whatever. But it's such a solid bourbon. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit more too once we get into our topic. But
I like how Don Nishida just straight up dropped the mic on you the other day on our chat. Be like, oh, look at this, what I got, Perry.
Yeah, I was like, all right, Don, I see how it is.
15-year pick. Nobody sees anymore.
I think the exact quote was, it's so funny that I'm listening to Perry and Eric talk about 15-year Knob Creek picks while I'm sitting here drinking a 15-year Knob Creek pick. Now, here's the thing. He just bought that bottle.
Yeah,
it wasn't one that he had in storage.
It's a recent one. Was that from Hawaii, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I had this thought the other day after last week's episode that we touched on a topic that I felt needed a whole episode of dedication to. And we've talked about this before. I maybe not in this exact capacity. But, we have talked about like pricing for bottles and whether or not it's appropriate in some capacities. But I think that this is it's an ongoing conversation. And I think that it's one that we want to kind of offer like updates on from time to time, as well as because the market is constantly changing. And so this is kind of the discussion on what makes premium bourbons premium and why are we paying premium prices when they're, are affordable, always on the shelf, daily drinkers that we go for. So I kind of realized after posing this question, not just to you, but also to Patreon, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month. But I asked the question, just in general, what defines a premium bourbon for you? We got some really, really good answers.
Yes, and
about it.
I think before we start, because we're both going to talk about what we like, and we're going to talk about or we consider, and we're going to talk about what the Patreon said. We definitely need to probably go over what each of us and Patreon think premium means to them.
Yeah.
Because I think it's definitely a broad term, and I think we all kind of have it in our heads. What does premium mean to me?
Yeah. And I kind of use it as like an umbrella term, I guess, like kind of a catch-all when I talk about bourbons that are either over $50 or tend to be categorized as like limited editions or limited releases in general. So I really liked Don's definition on the Patreon of what makes or what premium products are. So he provides the parameters of premium is $50 to $125 per bottle. Super is $125 to $250, and ultra premium is anything over $250. I think that's a pretty good standard by which for anybody to go by. Personally,
Right.
are there any alterations to that you would kind of make?
See, price point is just a part of the premium to me, because I feel like the main thing about a premium bourbon is the way it tastes, right?
Yeah.
Because there are, like we're going to touch on, there's stuff that tastes way better than a $200 bottle should or does. To me, premium means like a step above the normal. So I feel like all premium bourbons are automatically going to be expensive. And I feel like that $50 point is a good starting point. Although there are craft distillers, smaller distillers who their normal product is $49.99 or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could consider that premium, but if you're looking at the price, I think 50 and above. The rest, I think, is just a premium bourbon is something that's hard to get. It's in a glass case. It's something top shelf. It's taking that initial shelf product that you have, and you're making a premium version of it. Now I know not everybody has stuff on every shelf.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, if it's in a case, if it's only out once a month, if it's once a year, it's a premium product, or supposed to be a premium product, and I expect to pay more money for it, and I would hope that it tastes like it's special.
Yeah.
It's something special, is what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think that it can be very subjective, especially when you're talking about the age of some products.
Mm-hmm.
And in the current climate, in the current market, a lot of people are saying that for it to be considered premium, or at least for it to have a price that should be considered premium, I feel like it's got to be, or what I'm gathering from people is that it's got to be at least older than 8 years, right? And when you look at a product like this $100 Blue Run High Rye bourbon that's come out, I can understand why people are frustrated with it. I can understand why somebody is saying, well, I'd rather buy 2 bottles of Rare Breed. I'd rather buy, pay a little bit extra and buy 2 bottles of a Knob Creek store pick or something. But it is, a lot of it is down to what you are willing to pay for a certain product. When I reviewed and talk about Whiskey Drummer, which we'll get to, I said that I thought that the product that is in the bottle is worth paying the $200+ for.
Yeah.
I think that it is one of those really well crafted, really well sourced, blended products that people who have the disposable income should consider picking up. And I mean, that's, again, very subjective. But if you're kind of looking at Don's scale, or the scale that we're kind of adjudicating everything through, I feel like it does fit into that kind of ultra premium category. But at the same time, I'm wondering if $250 is too low for ultra premium.
I don't know. I feel like that's why I feel like the price tag is just a given. Like when we're talking about premium.
Well, yeah.
And it's hard.
That's a good point.
It's just a given. You know, it's going to be expensive. We could go on and talk about if it's overpriced or not. But as far as like you put the word premium up there, I think it's more of like you expect it to. It's $50 and above, no matter what. And just going back to this Blue Run thing, we had the 13-year-old Blue Run, didn't we, at OBC? Didn't they let us try that?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Great.
Really good.
So good.
Really, really good.
I would put that as a premium.
Mm-hmm.
13-year-old, and it's probably what, $150, $170,
something like that. Yeah.
I would expect that to be a premium, but you bring out a 4-year-old product that I've never tried, and you put it in the same bottle, and you put almost the same price tag on it. I don't feel like that deserves to be on the same scale as your 13-year-old product. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I'm not saying anything. Like, I haven't tried it. If it's a 4-year-old product that tastes good enough to be $100, that's amazing. I would love to.
Yeah.
But before I even try anything, and I see your 13-year-old, 14-year-old product is just $50 more, I don't get it. I don't get it. But that's a whole nother. Well, I guess it's kind of in the same part. As
No,
what we're talking
it
about.
absolutely is, and I'll provide an alternative for a 13-year-old product that is half of that price point. Russell's 13.
Oh,
I mean, still, honestly, my favorite that has come out this year.
I mean,
I just
I don't even like
nothing else is compared to.
I don't even like saying it, but that thing's underpriced.
I mean, honestly, it is.
Yeah,
it absolutely is,
and it lives up to that. When you open it and taste it, it tastes like a premium product. It's what you would expect a premium product to taste like.
Yeah, I think that, and this can kind of lead us into the next part of this conversation, is talking about specific bottles that may be in the correct place or may need to be bumped around a little bit.
Yeah.
But I really do think that Russell's 13 could fall into a slightly higher bracket of being considered a premium product. I would be willing, based on how great the product within that bottle is. I mean, I could see them pricing it in the same way that Heaven Hill does with the Old Fitz decanters. Mm-hmm. That could have been, and honestly, in some capacity, probably should have been $130 a bottle.
Oh, that could have been a Master's Keep.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But I don't know. At the same time, I mean, yeah, if you do price it at $130, people are going to go, well, why isn't it a Master's Keep? Or should I just wait for Master's Keep to come out before I consider purchasing one of these two bottles? That being said, though, the Russell's 13 was gone so quickly. Mm-hmm. So quickly. So it's another one of those, like, you got to act now. Act fast, guys.
Right.
Or else you're not going to get in on it.
But I got to give Tony and Joey from the Patreon, they really put that question out there about how do you define that? Like, they didn't really give any specific bottles, they said, but they really made me think about, like, what do I consider a premium product?
Yeah. So his Tony's answer here, that's a Tony Bag of Donuts from
Joey
Tony Bag of Donuts, kind of addresses the thing that we were talking about already. Are we defining premium in regards to the price? We could have an endless list of bourbons that are overpriced. Or are we defining it as the experience of the whiskey? In my opinion, premium isn't a helpful descriptor. To me, it's kind of like having the word guaranteed on the box. It's just there to make me feel good. Good Tommy Boy quote there.
Oh, and I always consider Tony's like the Eric, and then Bag of Donuts is like his character, and so like I'm the whiskey mutant. So
yeah,
Tony, Joni, Bag of Donuts, the donuts.
David Levine says premium for me is some combo of price, rarity, age, and exclusivity, i.e., first to do something, only to do something, etc. Tyler Thompson just says haven't really had that many premium bottles. And yeah, that's kind of the definitions that people have given us. So do you want to talk about some specific bottles?
Yeah. Do you want to go through, are we going to kind of follow the question? The first question you put out was, what's a bourbon that isn't premium that deserves to be?
Yeah.
You'll start there?
Let's start there. Yeah.
All right.
I kind of had a tougher time with this, and I was the one who posed this question, not just to Patreon, but to you and myself as well. I easily kind of fell back on Knob Creek because I do think that could be a more premium product, especially, again, with the 10-year price gauging.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were just spoiled with those 15-year picks.
Yeah.
That could have easily been sold to us for over twice what we were paying, 3 times what we were paying at the time, up to, $150. Now, yeah, I mean, I want to only have to pay $60 for a 9-year Knob Creek pick.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining about that. But if it did get moved up in price, I wouldn't be too, not disappointed, but I wouldn't be too surprised by it. So, but I'm going to throw Knob Creek single barrel in there, and I'm going to echo what I said before. I think Russell's 13-year almost deserves to have that premium.
Oh yeah, I feel like it is
price point on it.
I mean, it's just insane good. So I brought some stuff from the house.
I got some stuff too. We don't have to just drink your goodies.
If you want some of this, you can have some.
Hey, yeah, heck yeah.
So, looking at the price of stuff, I know we were kind of saying like $50 and above, but I just pulled out of my bag a Wilderness Trail wheated bourbon. This is the normal shelf, and it usually runs around $50. But I don't think anybody would instantly think that Wilderness Trail, just their 4 to 5 year old bourbon, is a premium product. But when you have this and you taste it against stuff, this thing drinks like it's a premium product. And I think, at the end of the day, I think we have to judge what's in the bottle, the most. And I honestly think Wilderness Trail, even the rye, the high rye bourbon, the wheated bourbon, they could easily be considered premium products based on what's in the bottle. If you're going to put a 4-year-old rye or whatever in a shelf and, great looking bottle and all that, and call it a premium product for $100, there's no reason Wilderness Trail could not sit and do the same thing, because it absolutely knocks most things out of the water.
Yeah. I haven't had the Bottled and Bond 100 proof in a while. I will say, I don't think I'm doing myself a whole lot of justice from having just come off of that Maker's Pick, because I am getting a little bit more of a graininess to it than I normally do. But
well, I guess we did go from wheated to wheated.
We did, but it is unmistakably like walking into a rick house.
Oh.
I mean, it's very effervescent. It's got this really interesting spice kind of popping out as well that I don't really remember having too much of.
It reminds me of barrel and strawberries. It's you think it's older, but then you get this very nice sweet strawberry note on it.
I would say a little bit of the youth is kind of poking through midway through the palate. Not so much so that it's just it's making me feel like I need more to it. But I'm going to go back to what I said the first time I ever tasted this. I don't think this needs to be any older than it is.
I don't want this. I mean, they do have the limited 6-year products and stuff like that, which are higher in price and all that. But I'm just saying straight off the shelf, you can go pick this up right now. There's no reason they couldn't put this in a different packaging, a box, in a tube, put it in a shelf, and somebody buy it and think, oh, this is not worth the premium price, because it would be.
Yeah. It's an absolute hitter. Mm-hmm. And I know that, things have changed since then a little bit, just in terms of seasons and what the barrels themselves are going through. But I am more willing to pick up a bottle of this than I am the standard off-the-shelf bottled and bond New Riff.
Yeah.
And I love that New Riff. I think it's phenomenal. But I think that this is the most consistent of those two products that basically came out at the same time.
Yep.
I mean, within months of each other. But gosh, it's so weird to me thinking about the podcast has been going for that long, that it was within the span of two of our favorite distilleries having released their first bourbon products.
That's crazy.
That's so wild.
It seems like it was just the other day that they, were getting some Wilderness Trail or getting some New Riff for the first time.
Yeah. And all the build up to it too. We were just so excited, and we were like, oh, we can't wait to see what this wheated bourbon is like. Is it going to replace Weller? And, can't wait to see what the counter to it is like with this high rye bourbon from up north Kentucky. And then, I would say that both of these products that we're talking about lived up to expectations.
Oh, 100%.
And I think that if we're talking about just pure satisfaction right out of the bottle, I think that could kind of be considered a premium.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It tastes like it should be harder to get, or, a little bit more expensive. Mm-hmm. So I would consider that to be premium.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the Patreon responses to bottles that are not premium, but probably should be. Tyler Thompson says, probably Rare Breed or 1920, Old Forester 1920.
Rare Breed, you could put that in a crazy different bottle, a tube or a box in a glass shelf, pour it out, and it would taste like a premium product.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
So awesome to be able to get something like that for that price and just on the shelf. I 100% agree with Rare Breed.
Rob from Food, Wine, and Whiskey, great podcast, go check it out. Also says Rare Breed.
Rare Breed again.
Don says Rare Breed.
Rare Breed.
One of, if not the last barrel proofs under 50 MSRP. Also Eagle Rare when I get it for 40.
I will 100% agree with Eagle Rare on that.
I mean, again, if we're talking about the 10-year age, or 10 years per, what am I trying to say here?
$10 per year.
Thank you.
That would easily be $100 bottle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind.
But then I kind of think of Eagle Rare now as a premium because of the rarity of it and how hard it is to get. So it kind of, to me, it kind of is a premium already. But if you go with the original $40, it's usually on the shelf at a freaking pharmacy, which it used to be.
Yeah, it pretty much still is.
Yeah.
Have we talked about why you can go to pharmacies in Kentucky and get bourbon?
I just always thought that was a thing until I started traveling a little bit. And I was like, I'll just run in this pharmacy and grab something to take to the hotel. Nope.
Well, it's because of Prohibition. Because during Prohibition, you could still sell bourbon as medicine. Yeah. That's why to this day, in Kentucky, at the very least, bourbon, alcohol in general, is sold at pharmacies.
Yeah, baby, Kentucky.
We don't get a lot of things right, but when we do, it's significant and we love it.
We don't do a lot, but we sell bourbon as medicine, so come on down.
Hey, it's gotten me through the pandemic, I'll say that much.
That's true. It is my favorite medicine.
And David Levine.
Rare Breed.
He says Rare Breed again, but also Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof, and for a little variety, Four Roses Small Batch Select. I don't disagree with that. I think that's a phenomenal bourbon. Definitely one that should be thrown into the mix. That Fourth Rose is a super under the radar bottle that, in my opinion, is better than many of the single barrels out there.
See, I will agree. Other than the rare breed, I will agree with that one more than the Elijah Craig and the Jack Daniels, because I kind of feel like Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is a premium product.
It is.
It's already it's $80, and we talk about this all the time. We can't even hardly get it.
Yeah, and it's a 3 times a year release.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like there's a consistent, and God, would I love it, though, if, like, there was just a consistent batch of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
Yeah.
And those limited releases came out 3 times a year. Excuse me. When it came out 3 times a year. But there was also that underlying, like, it doesn't have to be, like, the same proof all the time.
Yeah.
But if it was just their answer to rare breed, I would be all about it.
Yeah.
I would eat it up so fat. Okay, maybe drink it up sometime.
Eat it, drink it. If it was that easy to get, I'd bake with it. I'd make food with it. But the Jack Daniels single barrel proof,
that's one where I disagree with him on. Because as much as I do love that bottle, a lot of those picks are less than like 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're going pound for pound here, you're getting a better value with something like Knob Creek. You definitely getting a better value with Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. But the Jack Single Barrel Proof, it's a younger product. It just turns out that it's really, really solid, even though it's 4 years old.
I honestly kind of consider it premium too, only because around here, and this is going back to like what each person considers premium, we can't get it around here.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to
us
find.
here, it's not on the shelf. Like you may be able to see like a 375 of one, like sitting at like Total Wine every once in a while, but you can't just walk in and buy a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof.
Yeah,
especially at Pick. So it almost borders that premium already to me.
The picks sell out quicker than anything. And I have even kind of gotten to the point with Jack Barrel Proof that if I see it in the 375s, I'm buying one up, man. I'm buying multiples.
Yeah.
I'm willing to pay a little bit more for that just to have it. But at the same time, I still do think that subjectively, maybe objectively, I don't know, that could be priced a little bit lower.
I think so.
I think it's just a hair too expensive.
About $15-20 more.
Yeah. Because I mean, we're getting it for $65?
I think if
60.
Yeah, I don't care to pay that much for a pick.
No, but just one sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, I feel like that. But then again, it's never sitting on the shelf anymore.
Yeah, very true. All right, bottles that are considered premium but shouldn't be. This was mentioned in one of them, and I could not help but agree. Kentucky Owl confiscated.
Oh, man.
It pains me to say.
Yeah.
It pains me to say because I did really genuinely love this product when I first had it.
And the fact that it came out after so many of these other amazing Kentucky Owl batches I think kind of hurt it a little bit. If that would have came out at like $40, I'd have been like, if that would have been the non-premium Kentucky Owl.
Yeah. And that's what it was supposed to be, was the more affordable version, but it was still $130.
Yeah. And people bought it up, and you don't see it just sitting on the shelf like a non-premium product would be. So I think that automatically makes it a premium product.
Yeah. I want to have this conversation again whenever we get around to trying the Wise Man and actually do a side-by-side between the two. Because I do think that there needs to be that comparison. There needs to be that conversation about whether or not they did get it right the first time or whether or not this new product, this new iteration of what they're considering to be premium, or accessible to more common drinkers, whether that actually did the job better than Confiscated did.
Yeah, we definitely need to. I've got your confiscated is almost gone, but I've got over half a bottle. We get one of those. I would love to do a side by side.
You know what's funny? I have seen good reviews for the Wise Man so far. So,
We'll see.
Here's the thing, though. Confiscated is not bad.
No, it's not bad.
And I actually really enjoy drinking it. It's got all of the hallmarks of Dixon's Kentucky Owl batches. But it's just lower proof. And non-age stated. What's the youngest that's in it? Like 5 years old or something?
5.
Yeah. It's way overpriced. It is so overpriced. And I hate to say that now. But daggone it, this should be a $60 bottle of bourbon.
I mean, I was going to say in that 40 to 60 range.
Yeah.
Like, this is a solid $40 to $60 bottle when you taste it. Like, once again, at the end of the day, does it taste premium or not? And this tastes like more of a daily drinker.
Yep.
That you would just keep on the shelf, and you wouldn't care if somebody grabbed it and mixed it or grabbed it and did this with it.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me a lot of Bardstown Fusion Series.
Yeah.
It's almost identical in profile to a lot of those.
Because, okay, if we take that for example, I don't consider that premium. I consider Discovery the premium version, you know, going up. So, yeah, like this would be a perfect, like, right before you get the premium. But then there's the Kentucky Owl batches. That's your premium.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think about, and we can, I want to talk specifically about these Bardstown products for a second. What do you think about these newer releases, these new limited releases from Bardstown that are like eking towards or over $200?
I don't like it.
I mean, I don't care for it either, but
I mean, I'm not saying I don't like the product. I'm just saying I don't
want to pay that.
It's one of those things that I'm torn because
I love what they do.
I love what they do. It's okay. It's like Willet stuff. Like, especially like the single barrel purple tops. Okay, I'm guilty. I've bought plenty of those, and I will still buy them because I know the product. I know that I like that.
Yeah.
But when you start doing all these stuff, like these different finishes and things like that, I really have to just take a chance on if you're going to like it or not.
Yeah.
And what the Ferrari, and it's not, I know it's not Ferrari, but it was like Bardstown, like Ferrera, or like it's 100.
I apologize, I'm not correcting you on what exactly it is, but
well,
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I also don't want to waste time Googling stuff right now.
But it's what, $170?
Rest assured, if you're listening to this and you're correcting us, we know, we know that it's not Ferrara.
Yeah.
But, or whatever the
Ferrari.
heck. But we know.
Yes.
We don't need, we know.
And I know that Bardstown Bourbon Company puts out a great product, and I trust them to put out a great product. I just don't have that money to take the chance on a finished product that I may not like, because to me, I am not a big finished person.
Yeah.
But if they turned around and they put out this, product that it wasn't finished, and it was, here's our blend, like Discovery, I would be more inclined to buy Discovery than I would one of the finished things.
Yeah. Yeah. What is one bourbon that you think should not be premium but is priced as such?
Right here, I brought it.
Oh, that's a good one to include.
This is my Michter's 10-year-old single barrel.
Can I say, I am right on board with you on that one. The first time I ever tried it, and it made me feel like such a piece of crap. It was the first time I went and hung out with Chad and Sarah at their house when I did the first uncorkings that I was on for its bourbon night. And Chad pulled out this Michter's 10-year. I'd never had it before. I was genuinely very excited for it. And I just was like,
I mean,
I just thought it was okay. And I felt like such a jerk. But
it's okay. This thing comes in at what, $110 to $150 if you can get that.
Yeah,
this is a very tradable, very secondary, very hard to get bottle. It's nice looking. It's waxed. It's premium to the premium. And when I got that,
94.4 proof.
when I tried that,
Jeez
I was so confused, kind of like you were.
Yeah.
And I had never tried it at the bar. This was like a 2018 one. I just was lucky enough to get one at, I think, Liquor Barn or something, maybe before everything was lottery. And I was so bummed because I was like, wait a second, this does not taste like the amazing product that everybody is making it look to be.
Yeah.
And right now, I would drink a Russell's 10-year 90 proof over this all day.
All day. Twice on Sundays.
And the thing is, the Michter's 10-year-old single barrel rye, premium, I would pay premium all day. It tastes like a premium product.
This does not.
The bourbons, and since this one, I've had other ones at the bar, and I've yet to find a Michter's 10-year bourbon that I feel is on the level of a premium product.
I just straight up don't like this.
I mean,
like I had kind of a visceral reaction to it when I tasted it. It is medicinal, really herbaceous, and just kind of sour. Like it tastes like kind of a sour single barrel.
Yeah, it tastes like it just isn't a good pick or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not, and the other ones I've had have never impressed me either.
That don't impress me much.
That don't impress me much. You see what Patreon said?
Yeah, let's check out what Patreon said.
There is a very common bottle throughout the Patreon. Tyler Thompson, Blanton's. That shows up a few times. Blanton's. At first, I was like, I don't really think Blanton's is a premium product, but if we're going by the category,
it's treated like one.
It's treated like one. It's hard to get. And now it's like $65, right? 60 to 70. I guess if there's a normal shelf product, what would be H&H, and that's kind of this would be the premium version of that. So yeah, Blanton's should fit that. Blanton's to me is something that should be $20 to $30 and just sit there and just be there. It should. I don't feel like it when you open it up and taste it. It does not taste like a premium product. Let's see. Food, Wine, and Whiskey said EC18. It's not a bad whiskey, but for the retail price, $150 in Houston, it doesn't have the price to quality it should. Make it 100-plus proof, and it could be fantastic.
Yeah, I've only had EC18 once, I think.
I have a bottle of EC18, and I've had it in a flight, and it's good.
Yeah, I don't remember being overly impressed by it,
but it's not the $150 to $200 price range good. So I think that's a pretty good answer.
What was the oldest that those limited Elijah Craigs got to? Was it like
23? 20?
I was going to say like 25 or 27.
Maybe
I could be wrong. But I remember looking at that range and being like, that is some old bourbon.
Yeah. The EC18s to me like have a little bit of that oaky grape taste, and then that's about it. Like I don't know. But yeah, make it 100-plus proof, and it could be a different animal.
Well, see, I worry that at 100-plus proof, you would get too much of that oakiness. You know what I mean? I imagine that
Give me all that grape, baby.
No. And I think that's totally fine, but I think that there is a good chance that you could wind up with a very dry,
it would be so dry.
Just yeah. like have to drink water immediately after.
It would.
Yeah, I don't know if it would function as well, but I think just for the sake of science or experimentation, yeah, I want to know what it's like at a full cast strength.
Right.
So,
Don Nishida, he agreed with you, Perry. Kentucky Owl confiscated, not worth the $130 MSRP, in his opinion.
Yep.
And then David Levine, Blanton's, and also almost every celebrity bourbon whiskey, excepting early blacking batches and cast strength. Everything high age, low proof EC18, Eagle Rare 17, which are both oak water. Saz 18 is rye flavored oak water.
That's a good way to put it.
So, all right, he said the Blantons. If I went off this year's Eagle Rare 17,
I would disagree.
Because
this year's Eagle Rare 17 is a monster.
Pay the price and a little bit more for it. Saz 18, I could see that. Honestly, the blackened stuff, I enjoyed the blackened Willet.
I thought it was okay.
And then I don't know if I enjoyed the cast strength blackened. I have one from Kroger.
Did we open that together?
Yeah. I brought the box here.
Yeah, I don't remember it being
it wasn't
super
anything.
memorable.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the second question. What bourbon that is premium but shouldn't be.
Yeah. And the last aspect here is a premium bourbon that deserves to be premium and is. Now, I don't think I phrased it exactly like that, but
it's what you would expect when you open a premium bottle.
Yeah.
You paid the money. You waited in line. You bugged your local, shop owner, and you got it.
For me, honestly, it's 3-chord Whiskey Drummer. I think this bottle is easily one of the best premium products I have ever tried. Yes, that was a bottle that was sent to me by the 3-chord team, but all the same, it feels like it has everything that a premium product should be. A really well-developed palate, an exceptional finish. The nose is just you can't compare it. Incomparable. It's what I was trying to... Oh, wait, I didn't pour any.
I was going to pour you mine.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Ooh, the Master's Keep Bottled and Bond.
Yes, while we're talking, mine is Master's Keep, the 17-year-old.
I, for a second, got my hopes up and thought that this was one.
I wish. I know I was trying to pour Perry something and we could drink together. Since these are both bottles that both of us don't have much left on. Yeah. Instead of both of us pouring pours of both of them.
I've got less of my 17 bottle and bond than
I figured
than you do though. That comes with the territory.
But I think Master's Keep pretty much consistently is a premium product and it is worth the money.
Now I will say I agree with you that Master's Keep in general deserves to be premium.
Okay, wait a second. I got to talk about this.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Sorry.
This is the first time I've had this.
Really? I thought you'd had it before.
Mm-mm.
Oh, snap, dude. I'm sorry.
No, it's just one of those that I just hadn't tried. There's so many choices around here to try. But not knowing... Okay, and this is another thing. Like, if you blinded me and I didn't know any packaging, I didn't know any stats, I didn't know any names, this 3-chord tastes like it should be an expensive bottle of bourbon.
Yeah.
It's got thick mouthfeel. It makes you, how can I say this? It makes you think of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, that tastes like cherry. Okay, that's cherry. It makes you go, wait a second. I think I'm tasting graham crackers, or is that a little bit of like plum, or is that like grape? You know, a premium product to me should make you sit and enjoy a quarter of an ounce.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I'm having a moment right now. I'm not even joking.
We're losing them. But no, I that's why I pulled it out. I mean, it just has every quality that you want a premium product to
It's really
possess.
good. And it makes you just talk about it. And I mean, the glass it's coating the glass right now.
Yeah.
There's just like layers on the glass.
So what I was going to say, too, is that I agree with you that in general, Master's Keep bottles do deserve to be considered premium. I soured a little bit on the Bottled and Bond, though, the more I had it. Now, I think part of that might be that mine has more air in it than yours does. And it might have just kind of not reacted super well to the oxidation. I don't like the nose on this as much as I did when I first had it, but I do think that the palate is absolutely phenomenal. This is such a good bourbon. Yeah. And it just makes me want to drink more turkey.
I mean, it does. And it's like, and that's one thing too. It's like, even the little bit of negatives with the Master's Keeps I've had still doesn't make me think that it shouldn't be in that category.
Yeah.
There's always something about it that just makes me think premium product.
Yeah.
That drummer, man.
It's incredible.
Did you figure out, or did it say where that one came from? Or was there rumors about where that one came from?
Chad and I kind of deduced that it was either Heaven Hill or Jim Beam. And we were going pretty strongly convincing that it was... We were pretty strongly convinced that it was Heaven Hill, though. I would,
if I had those two choices, I definitely think Heaven Hill. That's really good. That thing, though, that is what? How much normal? $200?
Yeah, it's like $230.
Yeah,
almost $250 in some places.
But throwing that price out and just based on taste, this tastes like a premium product.
Yeah,
you should. If you bought that, you should have no reason to think, "Hey, this tastes like a premium product."
Give yourself a little pat on the back.
Yeah, yeah, make yourself feel better about it.
I was watching a guy that I normally watch on YouTube. He does guitar content, music content, and he has this series, and I think he's just now wrapping it up, but he goes to one guitar store in all 50 states. It's really cool. And one of the most recent videos that he put out was at each of those guitar stores. He asked somebody that worked there, like the owner or whatever, what's the weirdest thing that you've seen while working in a store? And one of them, the guy comes in and he goes, all right, I'm going to buy this. We need to file it. We need to run it as two separate charges, though. Okay.
Oh,
so he runs it the first time for $800, right? Guy's waiting, like the cashier's waiting, expecting like a second credit card or whatever. And the guy goes, no. Run it again on the same card for another $800. So he was like, oh, this means that he's probably like trying to hide from his wife that he bought a $1,600 guitar.
Yeah, maybe I bought two things. So,
yeah, exactly. And so instead he just shows her the one $800 charge on the card. Said that like a couple years later, same guy came back in with the same guitar and he was trying to sell it. So clearly his wife found out, his partner found out that he wasn't quite telling the truth.
I'm going to start doing that whenever I buy really expensive bottles.
Yeah. All right, Patreon, for their answers to what are premium bottles that deserve to be premium. Tyler says Stag Jr., ECBP, and Little Book. Rob says so many for this one. If you get it retail, George T. Stagg, William LaRue Weller,
yeah.
Handy, King of Kentucky, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye. That's a really good one to include. Taylor Barrel Proof, Four Roses limited editions.
Oh, can we talk about that limited Jack Daniel's that's coming out this year?
Oh, I want one so bad.
Oh, God, I hope I get one.
I want one so
bad.
The
hazmat one.
Yeah. And like, I think that Dustin said initially that it was only coming out in Georgia. There's no way.
No, that's like the nationwide release. That's their limited release for this year.
Yeah. So we're going to have to do like just a Jack Daniels episode.
Oh, I'm down for that.
Don says many, including Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, Stag Jr., Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof, and Knob Creek Single Barrel. And then David Levine says some newer blends deserve to be considered premium, like Barrel M Series Rise. What is that?
Is that like Barrel Craft Spirits, their Rise?
I don't know.
M Series?
I don't know. I mean, it is spelled like Barrel Craft Spirits. So
I mean, that dude.
I guess so.
I'm in the Wrestling with Whiskey group with David too, and he'll post stuff in our Discord. Dude's got. I just look in the background. He's just got box. He's just like. There's just bottles falling on top of him. Like he's got stuff coming from every corner of the world. I think.
Not jealous. Not jealous.
Not jealous at all, David.
King of Kentucky and Four Roses LE at MSRP. WLW GTS. He says, will it purple wax single barrels? And Blanton's straight from the barrel.
Okay, I will agree that straight from the barrel Blanton's does taste like a premium product.
I don't disagree with you, but I do think that it is overpriced.
Oh, yeah, definitely. If we're going on the overpriced kick, yes. Just the premium product, it does taste like a premium product. Almost like like we were saying before, if Blanton's was just normally on the shelf for $20 to $30, I would expect straight from the barrel to be that $80 to $90 premium product that's on there. But it's $150 to $300.
Yeah. I saw it for $300 the other day online. So no big deal.
I'm trying to look at some stuff here, kind of wrapping everything up. I really want to try some King of Kentucky stuff. Everybody says so much about it, but I've never had any.
You know, that first one that I had with its bourbon night was just so disappointing and underwhelming that I've just kind of been like, I'm good. But people have just been raving about the more recent releases. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's time for me to get back into them and try them again. I don't know.
You know, one thing I have been disappointed in that's a premium product is Old Forester Birthday Bourbon.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I haven't had this year's, but I had last year's and the year before, and it was kind of like the Michter's 10. I'm like, what? Like,
I got good news for you. We're going to be trying this year's next week. We'll talk about that next week.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. Good little sizzle. Good little sizzle for y'all. Anyway, send in your thoughts. If we missed anything that you thought we should have talked about, please let us know at My Bourbon Pod or head to the Facebook group. This is My Bourbon Podcast group. Mm-hmm. Let's see. What else? This is mybourbonshop@gmail.com. There's plenty of ways to get in contact with us. Just let us know. We'd love to hear from you. It'd be awesome to kind of follow up on this. And I'm sure that we will kind of come back around and talk about this again in the future. Like I said, we had already done before. But, you know, it's important to kind of gauge where everybody stands
and
from time to time.
And don't let anybody, even us, like I know we're talking about it, it's everybody's opinion. Don't let somebody tell you that you don't think something tastes like a premium product. You know what I mean? Like, just like we said last time, have fun with it.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a really good point. I'm not trying to dunk on anybody that likes a particular product in a certain premium category. Do I think Blanton's is the best bourbon in the world? Not anymore, but I do enjoy it, and I know that there are people who just love it in general.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're willing to do that, if you have the means to do that, pay for it the way that you want to pay for it, by all means, do it. I genuinely do not care, and it doesn't affect me.
Right. I just think I want everybody to have fun as far as like blind yourself with something or get up with a friend and like if they're the Blanton's guy and you're the whatever Elijah Craig guy, like have a blind, like mix them up, just have fun with it and like enjoy what you like and try some other stuff because more than likely you may find something that's a little better or you may not. Who knows?
I have been in the mood I just kind of took a break from it because I did so much of it leading up to and during that madness. But I just want to do a blind flight so badly.
Maybe we should do that maybe we should figure out Patreon. That's a good thing for Patreon.
Yeah.
Why don't you, if you want to, send us a message or a category that me and Perry could blind each other on.
That's a good call.
Yeah, rye, bourbons, high proof, low proof, finished, whatever. And we'll just pull stuff from our own collection and we'll just blind each other on it.
As much as I love sips and snacks, I do miss flying blind.
Hey. we could do sips and snacks.
We could alternate.
We go one, then the other. Who knows? But like I said, Patreon, you get dibs. Send us what you want us to do.
Mm-hmm. How about we go into the next segment?
The bottle chug?
No.
Oh, damn it.
That's
Oh, that's just live stream.
That's just live streams.
Yeah. Oh.
Do you know what this next segment's called?
Tips
And bits.
and bits.
Tips and bits.
Where you got? You go first this time.
You want me to go first this week?
Yeah, you go first this time.
All right. So I'm going to go over it very quickly because not a lot of people care about it, but I have to talk about video games for a second.
Hey, talk about it.
I beat Metroid Dread
That's a new
this
one?
week. Yeah, the newest one. I got it on Friday and I beat it on Tuesday. And it is incredible.
How long did it take you?
How
many hours?
I think all in it was about 11 hours of gameplay. It felt like longer.
Yeah, it always does.
But at the same time, like I beat it so quickly that I kind of was like, wait, is there not more? But I mean, by the time that you get to like the final boss, you're just kind of going, all right, I'm ready for this. Let's push on through. Let's get moving. But it is so difficult. It's the most difficult Metroid game I've ever played, I would say. But it rewards people who are familiar with the series, who are familiar with the lore, who are familiar with the gameplay. There's elements of the gameplay that they don't even tell you about, and you just kind of have to discover on your own.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. They really don't hold your hand with this one at all until you start like getting specific abilities and whatnot. But it's incredible. It might be the best game that I've played this year, if not one of the best games.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to go back and like 100% it, because I haven't done that in
Is there different is like difficulties?
Yeah, there's a hard mode as well. So I might do another run on the hard mode, just kind of like to get through it again, and then I might do a third that is trying to like either beat it under a certain time or trying to get 100% items. So we'll see. I don't really know yet. I'm still kind of trying to figure out what I
continued.
Yeah, but I'm just in love with this game. I have always loved Metroid.
I was going to say, have you played the old ones too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. The only ones that I didn't beat a whole lot of them growing up, but I was able to complete Metroid Fusion, which is still one of my all-time favorite games, and one that I'm definitely going to have to go back and replay here very soon. And by the way, Metroid Dread is the immediate sequel to Fusion. So it picks up almost immediately where the other one left off. It ties in a whole bunch of the stories and everything. But I'm in the middle of trying to complete Super Metroid for the first time too. I didn't realize how little of it I had played through until I got, probably about a quarter of the way in. But then I was like, okay, I need to go a little bit further than I had before.
You know what blew my mind when I was a kid?
What's that? That she's a lady?
When I go, wow, she's very pretty. I never thought that was who was under there. And I was like, whoa, she's nice. That was me as a little kid playing Metroid and learning that.
And here you are, Mr. Big Ol' Anime Nerd himself.
Oh, yeah.
Also, as of recording, I mean, everybody's going to have it by the time this episode comes out, but the Animal Crossing update came out early. It was supposed to come out on the 5th, but instead it came out on today, the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
You honestly made me second guess if it was May or not. I'll genuinely stop for a second to figure out, like, wait, is it May?
I'm going to start on the 4th of every month saying, may the 4th be with you.
You'll get me every time, probably.
That's so funny.
I have the high ground.
But yeah, the new update came out. I just kind of dabbled through a little bit of it today, but it looks really good so far. I'm excited for the DLC, the paid DLC that's coming out soon. But that's enough of like the nerdy video game stuff. We started watching the new Wonder Years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's phenomenal.
I haven't watched it.
Oh my gosh.
I used to watch the old one all the time. I'd sing the song and everything.
I love Dule Hill. I was a big fan of him because of Psych, which is one of our favorite shows of all time, one of my favorite shows of all time. And he plays a very different character in this show compared to Gus from Psych, but he's just a force of nature.
Is Winnie Cooper in it? The original.
If so, I haven't noticed yet.
Okay.
So we'll have to see.
Another pretty lady from my past. Winnie Cooper.
But it's so good. The first episode made me cry.
Oh.
Like, it ends. I'll say this. It takes place in 1968. And the events of 1968 have a huge effect on this family.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to spoil too much of it.
I see where you're going.
But it is wild. And it's so well done. It's not ham-fisted. It doesn't feel like they overdid any of it. But absolutely go and watch The New Wonder Years. I can't wait to watch the next episode.
I'm going to have to try it.
Like, we're only 3 episodes in. I think there are like 6 or 7 episodes so far, maybe 8. But I'm just ready. I'm ready to like just keep plowing through it. But anyway, what are your tips and bits this week, Eric?
Well, mine may be very specific to people, but
What, Mr. Anime?
oh, it's not anime this week. It's new metal.
All right.
So the new Limp Bizkit album just came out,
I have heard good things about it.
and it's legit awesome. Like somebody said, I can't remember who it was, said it's kind of like the normal 90s Limp Bizkit. And to the response, I said, that's why I like it. Because if you were a new metal fan growing up, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Slipknot, Korn, this album's for you. It's got everything you like about Limp Bizkit. I've been jamming this album for the past like 3 days. There's one song on it called Dad Vibes, and like Fred Durst's gimmick right now is he dressed up like an old man because he's a dad and stuff like that. It's hilarious.
It's very funny.
I love that album.
Didn't he play Lollapalooza?
Yep. And
like that?
Yeah. The whole thing.
Good stuff.
It's got like a couple little skits in it, and it's a great album. I'm telling you, even if you're not, like, just try out some new metal. Like, I love new metal.
No.
Yes, I do.
That was a disbelief, not like a no, you can't. How dare you?
I mean, I'm a huge new metal. I actually almost got banned from Facebook this week too.
That's right. I saw that.
Because of Limp Bizkit. So I was
That's funny.
One of my friends growing up, like, he's probably my oldest friend. Like, we went to like nursery school together and everything.
Wow.
Like, so we always like give each other hell on the internet. People like if they don't know us, they're like, these guys hate each other, but we genuinely love each other. But I started quoting Limp Bizkit break stuff to him, and I said, I'll skin your ass raw if you keep talking about that. And I got a warning from Facebook. And then I said, you're going to be leaving with a fat lip if you keep talking to me like that. And I got another warning. And I almost decided to push it to see if the 3 warnings got me banned from Facebook just by quoting Limp Bizkit. But I didn't. I stayed on. I didn't do it. But Limp Bizkit has caused me to rage and get all crazy like I'm in 1999, and new metal is just everything.
Did you all ever cover Limp Bizkit?
We did that for an intro once.
Nice.
Just like 10 seconds of like break stuff.
Yeah.
And then we went into like one of our original songs just to have fun with it.
That's really cool.
I felt like Fred Durst for about 10 seconds one time. But either way, new Limp Bizkit's awesome. I think you should check it out.
Nice. Is that it? Is that all you got this week?
I think so.
Cool. Well, that about wraps it up then. Eric, where can people find you on the social medias?
On the socials, find me at Whiskey Mutant on Instagram, doing all my pairings. I got some merch coming out soon. I'm working on that. And trying to get some more followers on YouTube. So,
And you're on Twitter.
And I'm on Twitter now. Send me a tweet. Retweet me.
Send you a tweet. I'm just going to send you any random tweet. I'm going to send you one that just says dick.
Dick. Let me retweet this dick. So yeah, on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And here in your studio. You can find me here.
Don't follow him here.
Follow me to Perry's house and to the studio.
Please don't. Please don't do that. I'm very protective of this space. This is my house. It's my dojo.
You said where to follow you to, so follow me here. But seriously, no.
Please don't. You can follow me personally at PRitter1492 on all social media channels. You can follow the show itself. It's at My Bourbon Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can leave us a 5-star rating and review on your podcast app of choice, if that is indeed allowed. And this week, we got a couple new reviews to read off.
Nice.
So this first one, I'll get the bad one out of the way.
There's a bad one?
There's a bad one.
Yes, I've been waiting on this.
It's 2 stars.
2 stars.
And this was before you were ever on the show.
Oh, shit.
But
I wanted to, respond to it.
this is from somebody named Booker. 2 stars, complete giggle fest. Sorry. This one is from all the way back in 2019, which I'm so sorry that I missed this, but it's from Scott from My Bourbon Journey.
Wow.
5 stars. Absolutely love them. Such great people and happy you were able to sit down with them. Always great interview. I don't know what that's in reference to. Oh, that was probably the Carters that I interviewed at that point.
Think so?
Yeah, I think so. And last but not least, from Bill Robarge, also known as Beer Lovers of WI, or Wisconsin. Back from August of last year. Great team of dudes who love bourbon and sharing their knowledge with the world. Sometimes goofy, sometimes serious, but all the time genuine. Cheers to many more episodes. Well, Bill, thank you so much. Thank you, Scott. And you know what, Booker?
Hey, Booker.
Thanks for...
Giggle, giggle, giggle.
Hey, we got his download at the very least.
Hey.
So...
He took time to write it, so.
We're going to read it out on the show. Let's see what else. You can find all of our apparel and merchandise at bourbonshop.threadless.com. You can send us questions or comments to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. You can leave us a barrel ring, a voicemail, where we listen to it on the show at 859-428-8253. Anything that you want to ask us, talk about, just something.
Let us know.
Just call me. You used to call me on my cell phone.
Me on my cell phone. Lay down.
Independently of each other, we both decided that's where we're going to go with it. Go follow the YouTube page as well, youtube.com/thisismybourbonpodcast. Got a new video coming up soon, actually comparing the 2 Wilderness Trail 6-year releases, the wheat and the rye.
I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, in the middle of recording that video, I got the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection package delivered, so there is a genuine point in it where I had to hit pause and run and get it, and I think I even show it to the camera. And
I thought you were going to say you got the poops.
Daggone it, 2 weeks in a row. Is that what this show has become? Anyway, I also go live every Thursday night on YouTube, so go check that out. It's a lot of fun. 8 p.m.
Hey, be ready.
Be ready. Catch up on your bourbon podcast knowledge. Specifically this bourbon podcast, not like Bourbon Pursuit or podcast.
We love those guys, but this one, I'm talking about this one because we're going to play a game.
We are going to play a game. It's going to be a little trivia game. There's going to be a big winner.
Big winner.
Big old winner. And then last but not least, you can become a supporter of the show at patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month. For as little as $5 a month, you get a bunch of bonus content, like the pregame chats, like the monthly bonus episodes, access to early videos, access to early episodes as well. Patreon's getting the uncut and unfiltered version of this week's episode.
I said some stuff.
Just like they do every week.
Yeah. It's not the pregame chats.
It's not the pregame chats.
It's the pre-edited episode.
It's the episode, but with all the little bumps and bruises that nobody else gets to hear.
And bleeps.
It's fun. I enjoy it.
The unbleeps.
It makes me laugh.
I bet it does.
It does quite a bit. All right. That does it for this week. Next week, Old Forester Birthday Bourbon 2021.
Happy birthday. Not yet, but I'm going to drink it.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Until then, I'm Perry.
I'm Eric.
And this is My Bourbon Podcast.